This is your obligatory spoiler alert. Hello to all you squirrels and girls out there. Today we're going to be talking about the Season 5 premiere of The Walking Dead. I just watched it along with the episode of The Talking Dead, and I have to say this is intense. This is no more Farmer Rick. This is dictatorship to the max. This is somewhere out there. Chuck Norris watched this episode and shifted uncomfortably in his seat. This is crazy. I have to say, Carol, wow. Did you teach Jean-Claude Van Damme everything he knows? How did you become the super ninja of the group? Explain this to me. Somehow, Carol, the mousy woman of the group, became Super Ninja Agent Carol, blowing up things, assassinating people, leading walkers places. Absolutely nuts. Telling everyone what they need to do, how they need to do it. Just crazy. That is my first impression. She outshone Michonne. And I think that's what they were going for. That she's going to be the more morally gray character this season. And part of being, morally gray is being active and doing things. If you don't do anything, you're a perfectly moral being. That's kind of a paradox of morality. It's an interesting idea, but I think that's where they're going with it. That she's going to be the one that really has all the Lucifer moments of, it'd just be easier if we did it this way. Perhaps Tyrese, especially Tyrese, are going to be the voices of morality, of not killing people. I think the guy in the shack that Tyrese beat is still alive. I think that's definitely true. He was protecting that guy from Carol, and from Rick, and from Daryl, and Glenn, even Carl. And Rick is going, so Carol and Tyrese are going to be the angel and the demon on Rick's shoulders. That's my prediction for this season. Carol is going to drag him in the direction of just killing everything, wiping them all out. And Tyrese will be the voice of mercy. A lot of characters got really shown up in this episode. Michonne didn't do anything. Daryl didn't do anything. Glenn, obviously they were there, but they didn't really have any moments. Now Eugene, I know what you're up to, you sneaky son of a bitch. For those of you who don't know about the comics, but Eugene is bad news. I'm not even going to say it. Comment below if you want me to tell you about Eugene and what kind of madness he's up to. That scoundrel. The Terminus crowd. First of all, their leader is not dead, and he will be following them. Rick is his governor. That's what I think he's going to do. Rick is his governor, and he is going to track Rick, and he will punish him for bringing down his settlement. And the fact that he was just eating people didn't bother him at all. And I think it was a serious miscalculation to not go back, as Rick wanted to, and kill every single last one of them. Morgan. I am very curious as to what Morgan's going to do this season. I have no idea. That is an interesting subject of thought. He's very well put together, very organized, clean, oddly clean for the zombie apocalypse. Looks like a survivor now. He's dealt with whatever issues he has, and he is going, I think he's going to save them. I think they're going to get in some trouble. Kind of like how Carol, by being away from the group, was able to save the group. I think Morgan will be able to save them later. And I think Rick, I'm sorry, I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit, just so amped from this episode. I think Rick is going to kill the leader of Terminus with the red handled machete. just like he said he was. Because Rick is Rick. And bad guys are bad guys. Beth. What is Beth doing this episode? I think that she's probably with a group that are a dissenting faction from Terminus. That when Terminus went to the dark side, this group fled. And they set up another colony. Or they could be a colony that has been at odds with Terminus, but I think they're somehow connected to Terminus. And she's being held against her will. Somehow, because, Eugene is going to want to go towards Washington because he's a big jerk face. Again, in the comments, ask if you want to know about Eugene. I've read the comics. I know what he's up to. But they have to stay local if they want to interact with Beth. She's at a hospital from what it looks like in the season opening. So that's really all I can speculate on that subject. Gabriel, Father Gabriel. He wasn't a very interesting character in the comics. The next episode, season 5, episode 2, he's going to make his appearance. Bizarrely, he's a priest, a Catholic priest, who never had to kill anyone in the zombie apocalypse. He just, the Lord provided and he abided. He set up a church. I'm not sure what they're going to do with him. I feel like they're going to go in a darker direction with him. He may also be fleeing from Terminus, a dissenting faction from Terminus. And that'll be interesting. Another interesting thing is Tara. Tara was with the governor last season. And Rick doesn't know about Tara being with the or joining Glenn. Rick might have some questions for her, some questions which aren't all that polite. There should be some tension there, I think. And that'll be interesting to play out. That's really all I can get into without really... I'm going to talk about Terminus itself. This was a different kind of evil than we had seen before. Before in this show, it was the evil of broken men. Men who had given up on morality, on reason, who attacked other people in the same way that they attacked themselves internally. But this was, grinding civilization to make sausages. Almost literally. They don't know if these people were there, and they didn't ask them. Rick could have been one of the last electrical engineers alive, and they would have eaten him for what? A few 100,000 calories? How many calories does a human body store? I mean, maybe 1,000,000 calories. But that is going to haunt them. That's going to be the shadow for this entire season. Are these people who just kind of were terrible out of utility, not hatred or lack of empathy, just utility. I want to know what all of you think. Comment below. Tell me what you think about this episode, this season. I'm eager to hear. I'm eager to discuss with you. Have a good one.